Hey, we got this Suzuki with a V6. It is the XL7 model. And we had to replace that alternator down there. The lower bolt on it was stripped out, and we went ahead and replaced both belts because they were covered in oil. And this car leaks a lot of oil. Actually, it's running right now and it barely has any oil in it. The oil dipstick actually shows that it has no oil in it. And it's dripping down from the bottom here, as you can see. And it's try to get some more light on the situation so you can see it running down from the top of the motor down. If you look up in there above the alternator, so it's leaking oil pretty badly all the way down the side of the engine block. You need to add some oil and pretty much keep adding oil to it everywhere you go because it's leaking pretty bad, y'all. Anyways, I just wanted to document that I got the alternator on, put the ground wire back on it, cleaned it up so it has good ground, put a brand new bracket and bolt through it, put obviously a brand new alternator, new belt, all of that. So we got it running, but it's a leaker. It's leaking oil pretty badly, and it obviously needs tires. It needs a rack and pinion. The seals are leaking from the inside of the rack and pinion. Both sides of the engine leak oil pretty badly. And that's the valve cover that's actually leaking from the valve cover down on both sides. So you need to do the valve covers. I would do the oil pressure switch just to be sure too. But it needs a rack and pinion. It's all wet. And it needs the valve covers. You can see it leaking back here. See the drip coming down from the side. So it's the valve covers that are leaking oil. This car needs the valve covers done on it pretty badly. It also needs tires pretty badly. Metal wires sticking out of both tires. So he's gonna go get tires. He already told me as soon as he gets it out of here, he's gonna go get tires. But the valve cover gaskets on this are bad. Like whoever put them on or whatever, they're cracked all the way through and they're leaking from the top all the way down the side of the motor. The motor doesn't sound too good because of being so low on oil right now. Okay, so it's really hard to see with this airbox in the way, but I'm going to try to point to it. You see that little black rubber piece there where the oil is running down? It's like a little black half moon on the valve cover. That's where it's leaking oil from profusely. And then it drips down the side of the head all the way down the block. If you look carefully, and I don't want to get hit by that fan, see how well this camera can pick it up. That little black half moon in there, and I'm sorry that this camera isn't doing the best job, but that's where the oil is leaking from. I'll try to get a better flashlight Maybe that way you can see it. And you know, it needs to have valve covers done on it like ASAP. If you're gonna do the valve covers, you might as well do spark plugs, right? Right there, you see the oil right there? From that little half moon on the valve cover. Right there. That's where it's leaking from. Pretty badly too. Yeah, so oil's just going down there. All the way down the block, and then on the back side of the valve cover, it has those same little half moons right there that need to be replaced on the back side of the valve cover. And on the back, it'll have the same little half moons on the back side. So it's leaking on the front, it's leaking on the back. It needs oil in it. I'm done with it for now. He didn't really pay me to do anything other than the alternator and the belts. And I let him know you need to do those valve cover gaskets ASAP. He seems like a handy guy. Maybe that's something he can tackle himself and save some money. If not, he'll be ring, calling me back, seeing if I can do it for him. But for right now, I'm just gonna give it to him, get it out of my garage. I got other stuff going on. I had this car in my garage long enough, waiting for the alternator bracket to arrive. It runs, the engine would be running a lot happier if it wasn't so low on oil with a fresh oil change and not leaking oil. It clearly needs tires to be roadworthy, so I'm gonna give him his car. He's gonna put some oil in it and he's gonna drive it home. And it is what it is, right? It is what it is. We do what we can, and then we hope for the best with the customer on everything else. So he'll get the tires put on, and hoping for the best on the valve covers getting done before he runs the motor dry and hurts the motor permanently. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna lower this thing down, get it out of my garage, and I promised y'all one more video on it, so this is it. 2004 2.7 Suzuki XL7 alternator bracket is on like I showed you underneath. No leaks underneath other than the oil leak. No coolant leak, no other stuff like that going on. Yes, it needs tires, blah 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 blah. It needs more work. We topped off all the fluids, coolant, power steering, brake fluid, transmission was a little bit low. We topped all that off. He needs to pull these valve covers, put a set of spark plugs in here, and that's it. It's not misfiring, you know, but just you're not going to open this up, remove this crossbar, remove the intake. You have to remove this intake to get to these valve covers. It's not an easy job, but you know, some guys can do it. You have to remove this intake. You got a lot of little vacuum hoses and hoses that you got to be real mindful and careful of. And then once you get the intake off, you get your intake gasket, you pull this off, you get to your coils, you put spark plugs in it, pull the valve covers off, put on new gaskets on it, and you have to be very careful with those little half moons on the front and on the back, and set it in the right position, tighten it in the right sequence to the proper spec to make sure it doesn't leak. We'll leave it up to him. If it comes back for me to do it, so be it. It comes back, but I'm done for now. I want it out of my garage. I got other bigger paying jobs that need to come in here. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video. Peace out.